Today we're going to talk about missing angle measures and finding those values. So we're going to look at a couple different scenarios. First, just looking at using complementary or supplementary angles, and then looking at transversals. So in problem number 1, we want to find these missing angle values. You can cross off this part because that was done twice. So A, B, and C. So looking here, we're given this 70-degree angle, and to find A, I can see that this shows that this is 90 degrees. So A and the 70-degree angle together make 90, which means that A must be 20 degrees. Now if I look at just A and B, those also have a 90-degree measure. So if A is 20 degrees, that means that B must be 70 to get to 90. Then for C, a couple ways that we can look at this. Okay, we can look at this as a whole straight line. So we've got a 70 degree and a 20 degree and a 70 degree, which equals a total of 160 degrees. So what's left over to get to 180, because that would be the straight line, is 20 degrees. You also could look at it, if this right here is 90 degrees, that must mean that this also is 90 degrees. So 70 and 20 would give you the 90 degrees. All right, number 2. We're going to set up an equation to solve this. First, we're going to find the value of x, then we're going to find the angle measures. So these angles together form a straight line, which means they add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to set up an equation, 5x plus 3x plus 12 equals a sum of 180. So I'm going to simplify. 5x and 3x is 8x plus 12 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. I get 8x equals 168. Then I'm going to divide each by 8. And I get 21. So we know that x is 21. Now I need to go back and plug in to solve the other values. If this angle right here is 5x, it's going to be 5 times 21, which gives me 105 degrees. So that was angle DBC. For angle B, there's 2 ways we can look at this. We can look at this and say this is a straight line, 180 degrees. So if this right here is 105, then this has to be 75 degrees. Or again, we can plug in 3 times 21 plus 12. 3 times 21 is 63 plus 12. It should still give me 75 degrees. All right, 3 and 4, we're using what we know about transversals and the different types of angles that are congruent based off of that. So for this, we see that we have these 2 parallel lines, a line going through it, so it's a transversal. These angles here on opposite sides and on the outside here are corresponding angles. When the 2 lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. So I'm going to set up an equation setting those 2 equal to each other. So 3y plus 53 equals 7y minus 55. So I'm going to combine my y's. I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides. On the left side, I'm left with 53 equals 4y minus 55. I'm going to add 55 to both sides. 53 plus 55 is 108. And then divide both sides by 4. And we get 27 is the value of y. So our y value here is 27. Now I'm going to go back and plug those in. I can do it into either equation because they should equal each other. You can always double check by doing it into both. I'm going to pick this one up here. 3 times 27 plus 53. 3 times 27 is 81. plus 53 equals 134 degrees. So both angles, since they are congruent, should be 134 degrees. All right, number 4, we want to find the value of x and y, and then the two angle measures. So, again, we've got these parallel lines and our transversal. These two are not congruent. They are not alternate interior or exterior angles, because this one's on the inside, this one's on the outside. So we should know then that they are actually supplementary. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this straight line right here. That's where I'm going to start first. These two angles make up that straight line, which means they should add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to set up an equation. 15x minus 5 for our first angle plus our second angle, which is 125 degrees, should equal a total of 180. So I'm going to simplify. I've got minus 5 and plus 125, which simplifies to 120 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 120 from both sides. I get 15x equals 60. Divide each side by 15. I get x equals 4. So our x value here is 4. Then I can plug back in here to find out what our angle is. We're going to say this is angle number 1, this is angle number 2, because it doesn't specify there. So I can plug back in here to find